Good morning. This is Margaret at the University of Sewing, and this is Facebook Live. Welcome, and we are into March, and we're talking about snow in Bloomington. Big surprise there. Hopefully we will not get any. They're not talking about it until late this afternoon, so come and see me. I miss you. Today, we're asking you to share our videos, and we are giving away this lovely pattern from McKenna Ryan called Villas at Dawn. And this makes me think of Barcelona or someplace in Sicily. I mean, it's just really lovely. All these wonderful wisteria growing down the walls and so forth. It's just really lovely. So the person who shares and we pick your name out, you're going to get this wonderful pattern. And let us know in the comments that you shared. We've had something interesting happen the last couple of weeks, and I think people think they're sharing, but they're not. You can't just use the word share. You actually have to go on to your link and hit the share so that people will see it in your news feed. If you don't hit the share button on when you're looking at your Facebook stuff, it's not going to share. The other day I looked through and supposedly had like 14 people who shared, and according to Facebook we only had 11. So I think a couple people thought they shared, but they didn't. So I'm sure you guys can figure it out. Ask one of those young people in your life and they can always tell you how to do this stuff. So Dave's done it to me again. I get started. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing for you guys this morning. And he says, guess what's in here? Well, I suspect I know what it is, but do you? So we have something to unveil for you a little bit later in the show. So I will let you think about that. And we're going to go back over here. And we're going to talk about the wonderful Bernina sale that's going on right now. Do you realize that you can get any sewing machine we have in the shop right now, including our lovely studio frame or any of the other wonderful machines in the shop, and get 20% off on them? Now, Bernina usually does this sale once a year, and you're going to get the benefit of it. Not only are the machines on sale for 20% off, all the feet are on sale for 20% off. And just to make it interesting, if you decide to buy a hoop right now at regular price, give me a call, and I've got a deal for the multi-spool holder. And I want to show you something. You may not realize this, but the multi-spool holder can fit on your 5 series. So if you've got a machine that has got embroidery and you want to put the multi-spool holder on it, if you've got a 5 series, a 535, a 570, a 590, you can put the multi-spool holder on your machine also. It is also available to put on your 7 series. And I'm sure you can put it on the 8 too, but I am going to have to double check that. But I know you can put it on any of the 7s. So if you've got a 770, a 790, you definitely want this. It makes life so much easier. You just put your colors up there and you're set and ready to go. I did have someone recently ask if there was a horizontal spool holder for their 830, which would also apply to an 880. So one of the things that you can go ahead and do is give me a call, because what we need to is a little aftermarket, not a Bernina product, but there's a little spool holder on. Unfortunately, what I discovered is it's out there, but it's out of stock for my particular vendor. So I'm going to see if I can find it from another vendor. But it is possible to do a horizontal spool holder for the 8 series. So I wanted to stop and kind of revert back to our lovely 590 here. You know, one of the really cool things that you get when you go to buy the $5.90 is you get this wonderful collection of designs. And these designs right here are the new ones that you will only get with purchasing this particular sewing machine. So we have some really beautiful things. It is interesting because I am not that skilled in all of this, but we apparently have pretty horses made up with flowers, and we have some other things in this that are really fun. So there is quite a few different designs, and I'm going to go back here for a second. There's another group of designs. These are all florals. They're really lovely, and so you get your own Swarovski crystals if that's something that you like. There's some really fun things in here. So I think that this collection of designs is really interesting, and I think you will have a lot of fun with those. So that's one of the things you get with this. Now, normally a $5.90 is $8,100 and I wrote it down, and $99. Okay, so normally that's what the cost is. With the 20% off sale, you will get it now for $6,599. So that is a savings of $1,600. I mean, you're just like, that's amazing. So that's just your normal $5.90. The Crystal Edition, they did not increase the prices for getting the Crystal Edition. So now, if you want to come in and get this deal, you're going to get your traveling cases with it so that you could take it with you. Oh, by the way, one of the really cool things about this multi-spool holder is that it's no big deal to take it off of there. So if you want to go to a retreat, you can remove that so you can store it in your case, and then you can just put it on when you get there. It's not hard to do. You're going to get, of course, the embroidery unit. You're going to get the big box of stabilizers along with a box, lovely, lovely box of threads to go with it. You're going to get some extra needles. You get the big book of embroidery. You are going to get another group of OESD designs. But, you know, frankly, in my opinion, the best of all of it is you're going to get a bunch of Swarovski crystals. You do get a couple of extra feet, which is not a shabby thing. You're going to get your number 18 button foot. You're going to get your number 10 top stitching foot. Those 2 feet right there alone is well over $100 savings. But you can't get these Swarovski crystals anywhere else. So how are you going to get this deal? Well, come in and get your $5.90. If you've got a $5.70 you want to trade in, maybe you have a 4 series and you're ready to move up. Maybe you have an older machine and you've been thinking about it and you haven't done anything. This is like the perfect machine because it can go to your, it can go to any of your retreats. It's going to be able to, you can lift it up and carry it. You know, that is a really big deal.
Even if you have a 440, you take trade-in.
I do take 440s. We'd love to trade you up to this. It's time for you to get a new machine. You know, we're starting to see those machines come in here and their boards are going. They're starting to have a lot of problems because of their age and the fact that you guys love them so much. It's time to trade it in before it blows up and it's not worth anything. So think about that. Think about, is it ready? Is it time? This machine is a really lovely, it would be a lovely addition to your machines. And what I like about it is you are going to get so many different things that are very much the kind of stuff that you want when you go to a retreat or a program or any kind of an event. You know, if you want to do our embroidery event with Vanita McCall, we're having an embroidery event called Embroidery Placement Explained. That is on March 31st. And if you want to come to that, this machine is going to be your perfect machine to take to this.
Guess who is watching?
It was Vanita watching.
She is.
Hi, Vanita. How are you doing? We're so happy to see you. But this machine is going to be great for that because you're going to learn how to use it, and you will be able to figure out where your placement of your embroidery is at. You know, one of the things I should do is go ahead and show you a couple of the things that Alice has already made. She's made a reverse applique sample for us. She's made this cut work in a t-shirt. How, you know, we always think that embroidery's got to be on really fancy stuff. Well, wouldn't it be fun to do some fun things with your tees? So you've got that. And then here's another piece that she brought in. You know, the placement of the embroidery is everything, because if you don't do that well, then nothing else looks good. It doesn't matter how well the garment's made. It doesn't matter about anything else. But if you get it on there crooked, or you get, and there's nothing worse than you think you have everything all set up, and then you go and you take it out of there, you put it on, and you realize that the piece is not done properly. And taking it out is almost impossible. So you don't want to ruin anything. And on that day, on March 31st, for this all-day event, where you're going to get lunch and chocolates, and there's going to be door prizes, and there's going to be all kinds of fun things, because when we bring in a Bernina educator, we do it upright. So you need to come to this, because you're going to be able to figure out how your embroidery belongs on your garments, how it goes wherever you want to put it, so that you have it on there. And Bernina and Alice are going to be there with you all day long to make sure that you have fun, that you learn lots of new things, and that it is going to be a wonderful experience for you. If you have not signed up yet, it is limited, and you need to make sure you do, because what I have a suspicion is going to happen is next week we're going to have it filled out by the end of the week. So if you haven't done it yet, sign up. You want to do this class. It's going to be really cool. Now, the event, the 2 days after that, you're thinking about the 790, you're thinking about the 770 plus, you're thinking about an 880. Okay, I know you're out there because I talk to you guys all the time, and you are thinking about those wonderful machines. Or maybe you have a 770 plus, or maybe you have a 790, and you feel like you really want to come to something that's going to give you a little bit more than what you got in your mastery class or in your guide class. So if you want to come to our event on the 1st and 2nd of April, you are going to do a mystery make. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means Vanita's going to be here. She is going to help you learn how to make some really cool things. We're going to talk about decorative stitching and how to get those things in place along with pin tucking. And look at those beautiful pin tucks with all that pretty decorative stitching in between. How gorgeous is that? You're going to learn some other techniques, like using your BSR for free motion quilting. That's going to be something that is going to be lots of fun. You get those with all of these machines, and you better use it. You're going to do circle stitching. You've been wondering how you're going to sew a circle that actually comes out right. Well, this is it. How about doing some monogram techniques? So you're going to learn some monogram techniques. And finally, we've got some couching. But what are you going to end up with at the end of all of this? I have no idea. I don't know. It's a surprise. It's a mystery make. It is a Bernina event. They do a lot of effort to make sure that you have a really good time. And again, you're going to be here for 2 days. You are going to get your lunch. You are going to get, we'll make sure there is chocolate. We will make sure that there are wonderful door prizes, and we will make sure that you have a wonderful time. So make sure that you sign up for one of these 2 events, or do both of them. You're going to have a ball. They're going to be really fun. I will tell you, the mystery make is perfect for the person considering upgrading. Now, I want to tell you, there's going to be deals for lots of different things. Now, you saw that beautiful box of threads that came with the embroidery box. Well, I've got those by themselves now. And I've also got a big bag of thread that is here. And we've got some other things that we've been making sure that we have. So we're going to go back to, have you guys figured out what's under have you figured out what's under the red cloth? Have you? Is anybody responding? Is anybody telling you what they think it is, Dave? No? Nobody's told us? Well, okay. So let's find out what is under the red cloth. Well, you can't tell much from this either, but I'm going to tell you. This is the Bernina 770 Plus, and we're going to walk over here and show off one of these.
And they've been hard to come by.
They've been extremely hard to come by. Guess what? We just got 5 more of them in. We are set and ready for our events. We're set and ready for this 20% off sale. How can I tell you that you, look at the size screen. Look at that amazing size of a screen. This is beautiful. It has got a huge screen on it. It is set up and ready to go. If you buy the 770 Plus, don't forget you're going to get a deal on a cabinet, and you probably want a cabinet for this machine. It's a big guy. And this big guy, or I should say maybe big gal, she's big and she needs her own cabinet. You want to be able to move it up and down and have it adjusted to the height you need. It will make you much happier. You know, I never used to think having a cabinet was that big of a deal until I had a really big machine. I've got an 880 Plus, and you know, if I tried to use that 880 Plus in anything that isn't in a cabinet, it is just really difficult to maneuver. With it in the cabinet, and I can actually lift the cabinet up with just a press of the button, I can lift it up and down. And you know, we will deliver this all to you as long as you were within like 60 to 90 miles of our shop. Within 60 miles, it's always free. Getting with gas prices right now, probably at 90, we're going to have to start looking at maybe a little surcharge on that. But we want to get this to you, and we want you to have your cabinet. We want you to have the whole setup. Think about adding embroidery to this. Right now, 770 plus your embroidery, you can get that whole setup for $8,000. It is amazing. And this is only going to be through the end of the month. So really think about that. Also, consider if this is, you realize that we all realize that this is an investment. If you're not sure, I probably will consider extending that sale through our event on April 1st and 2nd. So if you're thinking about it, you want to come to the event first and make sure this is the machine you want. You might decide you really prefer a 790 instead. So make sure that you sign up for those events. Anyone who signs up for the event, I will consider extending this 20% off sale through that. And that will be our deal for our event attendees. I won't be extending the sale past the 31st for anybody else, but for anyone who's attending our April 1st and 2nd event, I will totally extend that. And that's just on the 770, the 790, and the 880s. So we will have that. By the way, when you sign up for that, if you let us know which machine you're interested in, we will make sure you have one of those to use during that event. You do not need to own one of these machines to do this event. We want anyone who thinks they're interested to go ahead and come, and make sure that you let us know which machine you're interested in, and we will make sure you are set up with your embroidery, your machine. You'll have exactly what you're thinking, and you get a chance to use it and see if that's the machine that you're wanting. Okay, so I don't have my watch on today, so help me, Dave. Don't trip.
Well, one thing also mention what we are delivering tomorrow.
Oh, we're delivering a Q24 to one of our lovely customers. So the Q24, and she's got the Pro frame, and she's getting the whole thing.
And it doesn't matter if it's upstairs, in the basement, we'll deliver, right?
That's right. As long as we can get the poles in there. Now, when you buy a long arm, The poles on a Bernina long arm do not break down. They don't go like in half or anything. These things are solid, so we just have to be able to get them wherever you need them.
But then you have an option, the studio frame, it does. So
well, the studio frame is a different animal, and it is a wonderful thing for those of us who do not have the space. If you have a little house like mine, the studio frame's probably a better thing for you. And I will tell you what, after playing with that studio frame, I can't tell you how much fun it is to go ahead and do my free motion quilting, to do, setting it up is really easy. If you're the person who does some, you do art quilts, and maybe you want to be able to do some thread painting, you want to be able to do some really interesting quilting, and you want to get very creative with it, well, this little guy is perfect for you. The person who's using, this goes to a 10-foot, so you can put all the way up to a queen size quilt on there. So don't forget about that. Oh, just to remind you again, please make sure that you hit the share button on your Facebook feed and share our videos so that your friends who sew, and maybe you don't even realize some of your friends sew, and they do, and we want them to know about us.
Or your sister. We have 2 sisters coming back today.
That's for sure. You know what? This year's been really interesting. We are in March, and in the last 3 months, we've had 3 sets of sisters. One of them, there was 3 of them, and the other 2, there was 2 and 2. Where the sisters sew, and they hang out together and they sew together. And today we are going to send a couple of Berninas home with a couple of sisters, so that's going to be really fun. We've also got somebody coming in and buying her 770 plus. So we want to, if you guys sit down and give us an opportunity to demo this machines, any of these machines to you, you will find that, you know, it's really interesting. We have a fairly new employee, and she was here literally, was 1 week, and she was using the Bernina's 475s. We do a little bit of alterations and tailoring in the shop, and she was doing that. And she, with the first week she was here, she said, Margaret, I've never had a sewing machine where I didn't have to fight with it. I don't have to fight with my Bernina. And she bought a sewing machine literally in 1 week. I was so shocked because she's very frugal and she's very careful with her money. And she said to me that I don't have to fight with my machine. So if you've got a machine you're fighting with, let me have it. I'll trade it in. I'll take it from you. We don't want you to fight with your machines. We want you to have fun with your machines. You don't need to fight with these. We actually, you know, we don't want you to have problems with them. So if you go home with your Bernina sewing machine and you have any problems, stop and call me right away, because I don't want you to have problems. It's really funny. We had another customer recently. She couldn't get her buttonholer to work. It took us about 15 minutes, but we got her buttonholer working. And it was just, she just wasn't doing one thing in the right order. It was no big deal. But you know, if you don't know what the right order is, then that's tough. So, but the neat thing about our machines right now, let's go back to that 590. One of the really neat things about our machines right now is the manual's right in the machine. Did you realize that the whole manual's in the machine? So all I have to do is hit the little house button. I get to this screen right here, and see the thing that looks like a book? Guess what? Right there is most of my manual. Now it's in the shortened version. I'm just going to be honest with you. But if you forget, say you have to go on a trip and enjoy yourself somewhere, and you come back and you say, oh my goodness, I kind of feel like I've forgotten how to do the bobbin. Well, guess what? It's going to show you how to thread your bobbin really easily. It tells you the steps, but it also shows you really good pictures. Isn't that just wonderful that you can do that? You can wind your bobbin. There's a video right here. I showed this to a couple of customers, the 2 lovely ladies who are coming in to buy their machines today. I showed them this and they're like, I don't have to get the manual out? They were so excited. The other thing that they did not that they've never seen on these, and maybe you didn't know it was even available, there's this wonderful thing on here that is a question mark. And what you do is you press on the question mark, and then you press whatever it is you're wondering about, and it tells you. So right now I hit the question mark and I hit the number 5 stitch, and it tells me that stitch, what it does is it does a back stitch and then it stitches forward, and when you hit the reverse button, you just tap the reverse button. It'll do your back stitches for you, and it's done. A lot of people don't realize their Bernina sewing machine even has that stitch on it. It's so cool, because if you're sewing seams for something, it'll back stitch at the beginning, sew your seam, and back stitch at the end. You just have to let it know where the end is. How easy is that? You know, there are so many new features on these machines. I know you love your 440. I know you think it's a great machine, but I'm telling you, you are going to have fun with this one. Upgrade, get yourself, trade that thing in. Its technology is getting old. The boards on it are getting old. We want to get you out of that so that you have something that isn't going to die on you in the middle of a project. You don't want to have to learn a whole new machine in the middle of a project, do you? Let's get you taken care of. I will trade it in for you, and we will make sure that you have what you need. Let's go ahead and finish up with the cues. This lovely studio frame, the big pro frame. It's included in the 20% off sale. A lot of times Bernina does this sale and they do not include the cues in it. You can do your long arms now you're gonna get a 20% discount. We've got sit down tables, we've got your folding tables with just your cue, and so you can go and do your long arming on those, or you can go with a frame. This is a wonderful time to make these purchases. So really think about that. I think you're gonna, you know, if you're thinking about this, okay, I got another event for you. If you're thinking about a long arm, if you're thinking about a sit down version, and you really want to get your quilting done, let's look at the event we're having on May 13th and 14th. It's a Friday and Saturday. We are having 2 different events. One is for the person interested in the long arm, and the other one is interested in the sit-down version. Just give us a call if you're not sure which is which. I tried to make it as clear as I could. When you go on our website, it's universityofsewing.com. Go to our classes. This is right in our classes. All these 3 events I've been telling you about are all in our classes. And make sure that you look at all of them, see which ones you think you want to go to. They're all very reasonably priced. We want you to come and learn about these machines, and we want to make sure that you're making your best purchase. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate. Our phone number is 812-323-2665, and we would love to have you come by and do a demo on any of these machines. We'll make sure that you get the attention you need and that you figure out what's right for you. Everyone, it is Friday at Facebook Live. Tomorrow, we've got some new things that have come in that I think you'll find really beautiful. We're also got some other things in mind for you. So it's the last day of our anniversary sale. What that means is if you've had a foot in mind, if you have anything else you want to purchase right now, we're giving you free gifts when you make an order right now. So we'd love to see you. By the way, if you come into the shop right now, everybody gets a free gift. So happy anniversary to us. It's our 2 years in business, and we are really happy to be here with you. I hope that you enjoyed today, and we will see you tomorrow for Facebook Live.